Okay, we're going to look at more two-step equations today. We're going to start off with a couple of questions that have something weird in it that we haven't talked about yet. But we need to talk about it because it will show up. On number 1, it says negative x plus 3 equals 7. I want you to think back when we were talking about algebraic expressions and coefficients. When I have negative x, what's the coefficient? I saw TJ's hand first.
1.
So in this case, it would be negative 1, right? So we're going to rewrite this as negative 1x plus 3 equals 7. And that's going to help us when we get to the second step to know what to do. All right, so when we are doing two-step equations, what do I undo first? I want somebody from this side. Jaden.
Minus 3 under...
So, but what do we in general do first? When we had those two steps on the worksheet and you had to fill in the blanks, what do we undo first?
Just subtraction and addition.
Subtraction and addition. Good. So we're going to undo this plus 3 first. So the opposite of plus 3, you're right, is minus 3. We're going to do that to both sides. Okay, and then we get negative 1x. We just bring that down. And over here we have 7 minus 3, which would be 4. So if I just left this negative x, it would have been a little bit confusing. But because I know that's the same thing as negative 1x, now I can get x by itself. How do I do that? What's the second thing we undo, Rhett?
Divide it by negative 1.
Divide it by negative 1. And that just cancels us out, because anything divided by itself is just 1, which would just give us an x. But if I divide this side by negative 1, I have to divide this side by negative 1. So 4 divided by negative 1 would be negative 4.
Wait, but that doesn't make sense. Because you can't add negative 4 to 3.
So let's go back up here and check. So that's what he's asking about. So we're going to go ahead and check. So I have negative x, and so when I put negative 4 in there, it's negative 4 plus 3 equals 7. So when we have that negative, remember the opposite of the opposite would just change it to positive 4. And so it does work. Check. And that's a good question to ask yourself. When you get done, if it doesn't look right, remember that you can always substitute your answer back in.
Does x equal negative 4 or just 4?
So it's like
Negative 4.
So it's like negative 1 times negative 4.
This is checking the answer. This is not the answer. This is just seeing if we substitute it back in, if it works. Seeing if the solution works. But your answer is negative 4 because positive 4 divided by negative 1, they have different signs, so your answer is negative.
So when you put it in there, it's like taking negative 1 times negative 4.
Yes, essentially. So it does work. All right, let's go over to number 2. So I see another one of those negative x's. So we're going to rewrite that as negative 1x again, just to make sure that we understand what's happening there. And that's why we went through all of that stuff in the beginning of our unit on algebra about how to find the coefficients. Because guess what? You really need to know that now. You need to know that if I have a negative x there, that means negative 1x, so that we know what we're going to divide by when we get to that second step. All right, so how do we get rid of minus 8? Plus 8, very good.
Yes.
On both sides. Okay, let's impress Miss Arthur. So we're going to bring down the negative 1x. Who can tell me what negative 15 plus 8 is? Raise your hand. Yes, Alyssa.
Wait, what did I get? 7?
Okay, would it be positive 7 or negative 7?
Positive. Wait, negative.
Negative 7, good job. And then what do we do to get x by itself?
Divide by what negative 1?
Divide by the negative 1. Yes. And then if we have division with same signs, the sign on my answer is?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to sing the song to Miss Arthur? Do you think she'd enjoy that? Okay. So, same signs, positive, different signs, negative. Good. Okay, Miss Arthur just got a kick out of that.
I did.